Hi, guys. I hope you're all doing well and adjusting to this new way of learning. I am going to give you the notes for lesson 14.1, and we talked about a lot of this stuff in class on Friday, but there's a few examples and points I wanted to talk about that we didn't mention on Friday that would help you when you're doing your homework for this lesson. So, this lesson is called Points, Lines, and Planes. And hopefully by now you've already copied the notes into your notebook or have printed and glued them into your notebook. So, we're going to use some of those definitions when we talk about things for these examples. So, one thing that we didn't talk about is how you can name a ray or a segment that lies within a line. So if we have this line here, line MN, and remember the way we write that is we use the two letters on the line with the line symbol above it. We can talk about a ray that, or there's actually two rays that lie on this line. We can talk about ray MN, so that starts at M and it goes in the direction of N. So we would name that ray MN, again with the same two letters, but we use the ray symbol above it. And here it's important the order of the letters matter. So our end point is M, and that's our first letter when we name that ray. If we wanted to talk about a different ray, we could talk about ray N M. That starts at point N and goes forever in the direction of point M. We would name this ray NM. So again, we're starting with the end point and going in the direction of the other point, and that also has the ray symbol above it. We can also talk about a segment that lies within a line. So if we have a line QR. So here's line QR. We can talk about segment QR also. That would be just the points that lie between Q and R, but also include Q and R. And when we name a segment, we use the two endpoints and we draw just a line with no arrowheads above it. We can pick a segment out of a ray as well. So if we have ray CD, here's ray CD, we can talk about a segment CD within this ray. So again, segment CD would start at C and end at D. And the order of the letters for a segment does not matter. So we could call this segment CD, or we could call this segment DC. Same for the example above, we could also call this segment RQ. For a segment in a line, the order of the letters doesn't matter. For a ray, it does, because rays always have to start with the end point. One thing we didn't talk about on Friday were planes. So a plane, an example of a plane in real life would be like the surface of a table that goes on forever in all directions, or a piece of paper that goes on forever in all directions. The way you name a plane is with any 3 points on that plane. So there can be several ways to name the same plane. For example, if we have this plane with points A, B, C, and D on it, we could call this plane ABC, and you just write all 3 letters right next to each other. Or you could name it plane BCD, or you get the idea. Any 3 letters that are on that plane can be used to name that plane. Another thing is that if a line has more than more than 2 points on it, that same line, can be named in different ways. So if we have this line with points A, B, C, and D on it, we can name that line many different ways, just using any 2 points on that line. This could be line AB, or it could be line AC, or it could be line CB. So any combination of 2 points on that line would be okay to use to name that line. The other thing that we didn't talk about is how when two lines intersect, they intersect in exactly 1 point. When we say intersect, that just means the point where they cross over. So if we have lines AB, here's line AB, and line CD, here's CD, and they are obviously crossing over each other. They are crossing over right here at point P. So we would say that line AB and line CD intersect at point